If you want to go far in life, you have to let go of the outcome. We don't control how it all turns out. We can only control how we show up. Now, how we want to think about this is living life from a place of detachment. When we can be detached from the results of our actions, it allows us to be more in the flow of life. It reduces anxiety, and it allows us to generate the awareness we need to have to really focus on the right action that we need to produce the things that we do ultimately want to achieve, whether they happen or not. You know, it's that old adage of it's not the destination, it's the journey, and it sounds so corny and brutally corny, but it's true, right? When we focus on what's here right now, which is the eternal now, which is the eternal moment, and we can take our right action in this moment with a detachment from what's going to happen, I think that's the resonance that we ultimately want to create, which is going to allow the things that we truly desire in our life to come to reality. The more that we grip to the outcome, the more anxious and reactive we become when we don't see it. And that that stops us from learning and from reflecting on what is actually so. If you're like me, you want peace in your life, right? And you want to feel a sense of calm. And the more I dive into the work, the more I understand that peace truly does come from detachment. And, not indifference, right? That's something different. But like surrender. Surrender to the greater plan that's unfolding in front of us, while still being the captain of our own ship and taking the actions that we know we ought to take on a daily basis to create the person that we want to be. And for myself, as I think about this, I don't know if it was the way I was raised, but there was a certain point in my life at a very early age that I made the decision that the journey that I'm going to go on is to really be the best person I could be. And I don't mean best from an achievement standpoint or, from a competitive standpoint, but just be the best human being I can be, pursuit of perfection as it relates to goodness. And that is the underpinning of how I live my life. And that is the underpinning on which all my goals are built on top of, right? And again, it's good to have goals. It's good to have intentions, because I believe that the intentions and the goals that we operate to create on creates a resonance within inside of us that flows into the world. The result of that is that we receive what we are putting out, right? Because we are not only the transmitter, but we are the receiver. And when we put too much emphasis on the outcome, when we are attached to the outcome, what we're really doing is we are getting in the way of the frequency of right action and goodness that we are emitting out into the world. And so that's like, it creates a dust on the filter, an anxiety within us that tweaks the resonance that we are putting out. So when we can come from a place of true detachment, it's going to be a lot more of a joyous experience, because it allows you to be in the work, whatever the work is you're doing, whether it's in your relationship or your career or your projects, or just building the life that you want in general. It allows us to be in the moment and to use our focus and our attention as truly creative tools because we aren't worried about what's going to happen. We just know the mission that we're on, and we're okay with whatever happens, because whatever happens doesn't matter, because the future doesn't exist. All we have is right now. And that's what this is all about. It is all about bringing ourselves into the now with whatever you're doing, whether you're building a business or creating a relationship or having a family. The outcome will be what the outcome will be, and we do not have control over it. We just have control what we do in this moment. And so this idea of detachment, again, this is not a passive idea. This is not just sitting and waiting and wishing. This is the most truly active state one can attain, is this state of surrender. And again, that seems so paradoxical, because surrender and detachment, it sounds so passive, but it's not. It unbridles our ability to be creative right here and right now. Because whatever we think is going to happen may or may not happen. And what may or may not happen might be greater than you can ever imagine. And the way it's going to be greater than you can ever imagine is if you put all of your focus and awareness into the current moment, and understand that this time and our focus and awareness is the true currency that we have to produce the beautiful things that we want to create. And if we're too worried about being perfect and the outcome, we're never going to get anywhere. You're never going to get off the starting line. When you release the outcome, you gain back your presence. You can't have your focus and your attention and your awareness in two different places at the same time. If you're focused on what you want to create and what you want to produce and this optimal outcome, you're never going to see the opportunities that are right in front of you. And this can come from, I think this directly speaks to productivity. And I don't like that word or that concept, but it's true. Because when you have your focus on the right here and the right now, based on what you do want to create, the opportunities in front of you become abundantly obvious, because it's what you have control over right now. What are the things you can do right now? What are the actions you can take right now? What is the planning you can do right now that is going to move you forward in a direction that is aligned to your values and ultimately the goals and the desired outcomes of your life? And that's beautiful, because the important piece is that there's detachment there. It's not about the goals or the desired outcomes. It's about right here, right now. So what can you do right here, right now? Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. Right here, right now. Those are the building blocks for your life. Right now is all we have. That is your life. Right now is your life.